What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $3,439 in the first hour of trading. I finished the day up, I think, like $10 less than this. No, it was actually like $6 less than this, like 3,433, I think was my final total on the day. So let's get right into the trades. Didn't make a ton of trades today, but it was definitely a nice day, so let's go into them right away. Alright, so let's go over this first trade here. This first trade was on CGC. It was not a typical entry for me, as in I really didn't have a good reason to get in, and besides volume. That was the only thing that kind of, I was like, okay, I need to get in. So CGC, I was playing this all day yesterday. This is yesterday's candle, this red one, and it was just not working for me. I'm thinking to myself, this 20-day moving average is going to hold, and it just kept head faking me over and over, and I lost money yesterday on it. And today, so I had a kind of a good feel for the stock because I played it literally all day yesterday. Even though I was red, I still played it all day yesterday, and I had a good feeling for it. And never did I see this kind of volume on the stock. This like 296,000 shares of volume, like really quick. So that's what I was watching here. Is I saw these, 2-minute candles open up, and I was kind of hoping for an opening range breakout. I was hoping for it to kind of, if we're looking at it like this, kind of pop up, pull back, and then it would give me either, a candle over candle for the break of the morning high, or, even if I wanted to short it, break of the morning low. That would be a safer entry. But what I saw, what made me get into this thing, is just all of a sudden just big volume got in. So I was like, let's give it a go. I'm going to jump into this thing. I don't typically take this trade, nor would I teach other people to take this trade. This was just pure volume, thinking that the 49 would break, and I would be able to sell on the other side of 49. I held it a little longer because it kept pushing towards 50. I was thinking, okay, it's got a lot of volume. Maybe 49.50 will break, and I'll sell above that. But it got above 49.40. Came back down, and as it was starting to come back down, it showed weakness. Watching the L2, a lot of red flashing. Had I been paying attention, I would have noticed that the volume on this candle was half that of the first candle, so the volume was slowing down. So that's called a negative divergence, right? Or a divergence. The volume is decreasing, the price is going up. That's a bearish sign. So, and as you can kind of see, it did sell off right here. Boom. So I did sell. I got in at 48.87, so right here, and I sold a minute later at 49.19. So a nice win. And had I been paying attention, I could have used the pre-market as an entry. This 48, what is this? 48.95. I could definitely have used that as an entry. I just got lucky that corresponded kind of with what I bought in at. So not a typical entry of mine. It was more volume that told me to try to get in. So I did, and it luckily worked out. In CGC 48.87. Whoa, what a pop.
SYN, I'll just pull up the chart. High of that candle was 72. High on IGC, double top at 25, 625.
Out 49.19.
IGC there. Saw that one coming.
So we just finished that first trade on CGC, and I was looking for a pullback so I can re-enter on this thing. So this is my favorite kind of play: is a pop, pullback, and then candle over candle. And what I mean by candle over candle, I say it all the time in my videos, is first I have to have a pop, then I have to have a pullback. Meaning these candles do not make highs; they don't break the high of the previous candle. So here's our pop, here's our pullback, and then I'm just waiting for the current candle, say it was this one, to break the high of the previous pullback candle. Not the previous candle, you know. Since I sold in here, I'm not going to jump in this one just because it broke this high. No, I'm going to be patient, and I have to wait for a pullback. So I'm waiting for a pullback. Here's my pullback. I'm inside the pullback. This candle goes up. It tries to break this candle top here. It doesn't do it. Gets it within like 1 cent. Still didn't go candle over candle, so I'm not buying. This candle opens up, and we get that move. So we're inside this candle. As soon as it looks like it's going to break the peak of this candlestick right here, which is 49.24, I go long. I get in at 49.28. It moves up, especially in the early morning. I want to see this be a very volatile move. As soon as it goes candle over candle after the pullback, it should pop up pretty quickly. And what you'll see when I run the live video is it kind of pops up and just kind of stalls here. And it gets up to this level here, and it's just a slow move to this level. So it kind of freaked me out because it should have popped faster, and it didn't. So when it got up into this level up here, I was thinking maybe it's going to double top. I'm going to sell, take my 8 cent win there, $160, and just be thankful for that. It did, however, move up much higher and break that level, break the 50-cent level, get a nice pop. But when you watch the live video, you'll see why I sold. Back in CGC 49.29. Stalling, needs to go. There we go. Keep going.
So right
I want to see 49.50 right now.
That $3 spot.
There's the crash. Oh well. Back in 591.
Out 49.36.
DTE8 less than 2.
So this next trade was a pure play off my scanners that I run. It's a low float scanner, popped up. I hadn't been willing to try to play low float recently because they haven't worked. There just hasn't been any momentum in them, except for like today and maybe yesterday. So at this point in the morning, we've had a few runners, and I was willing to give it a shot if one looked good, for the next one that hit my scanner, and that happened to be NVIV. Hits my scanner, I click on it. First thing I look at is the daily chart, and I see this nice base right here around the $2 level. I see that it can pop up and make kind of a big move. I see that the float, which you can't see, it's off screen right now. The shares outstanding is 7 million. So E-Trade doesn't show what the float is. I know what the shares outstanding is, so that's still small. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, if it can get over this 220 level, it could pop to maybe 240, 250, break that and really get moving. So I'm looking at it, right, and the price is kind of like this. And really what tells me to buy, or gave me the confidence that it was okay to buy, is I saw some bids show up on the L2. And when I saw the bids show up, okay, I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. I go, because what I'm thinking to myself is, if it doesn't work, I'll just sell into the bids. They're my backstop, so I'll lose a couple pennies, right? So I go long at 214.5, call it 215 if you want. The price immediately goes up a little bit. We get this next little pop up here, and after it starts to go parabolic, or straight up, I should say, not really parabolic in this case, I'm just looking for the first sign of weakness, and I'm out. And it goes at 227, and then I start seeing some flashes of red, and I just sell for a quick win. And you can kind of see it just kind of sold off from there. So it was a good decision. I got out at 222. NVIV in the scanners.
IDC long probably. Yep. Hey, can't argue with that. Have a good one.
I'm long NVIV 215. There's a big bidder that I saw.
NVIV on the scans, but I'm not sure about that one.
Stop loss will be 213.
Someone asked me how often I do free trials. Guys, I started my service over a year ago. Had this the first day I've done a free trial, and it'll be the last time I do one for another year, probably. So I don't do them often. It's the first one in a year.
So SYN, I want to see it break over $3. There's $2.99. So this is where, in sort of an aggressive market, I would add at $2.99.
Out 222. Okay, so this next trade was SYN. This thing really had no business doing what it did today, but that's low float life for you. This thing just went absolutely nuts. It went from 250 to $8 today. Crazy move. So early in the morning, it started moving nicely, broke 3, came back down, went candle over candle, you know, pop, pull back, candle over candle, and this pop was only 10 cents, okay? Then we have another pullback, and then we go candle over candle again, right here, and it goes to the exact same level. So we have a double top right here at, you know, basically 299. So when I see that the pop after the pullback was not an extreme move like we saw on CGC when I traded it earlier, that's a bearish sign, right? So we have a double top. So I had that in mind. So I'm thinking, oh, this is a bearish sign. It's time to go short on this thing. Then we have another candle over candle for continuation. It was only a penny move, right? It hits $3. Then on this one, it breaks 3, but comes right back down. It's just a weak move. There's just no thrust. I mean, this thing has 3 million shares outstanding. Who knows what the float is? I think I heard someone say it was 400,000 shares. And it can't get the juice to go into the stratosphere at this point, at like a whole dollar level, breaking high day, and only broke it by a penny or two. Like, that's crazy. So when I see that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's down below 3. I'm going to go short. And I go short at 293. Where's the candle? Right here. And at the time, I don't know why this is not showing it here, but this candle actually went 293 and it went to 298. This candle did. I don't know why it's not showing it here. It went to 298, so it gives me a candle under candle. So a lot of times when it goes candle over candle and doesn't really work out, I'll play the first time a candlestick goes candle under candle, and maybe it'll flush out. Well, it goes, but it beats it by 1 penny. Again, it's not showing it right now. I don't know why. It beats it by a penny and doesn't flush out, and that's a bullish sign. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, stop loss will be high day. I'm getting out of the way, and that's what happens. It goes back up towards high day, and I stop out right here. Yeah, inside this candlestick. And then sure enough, the next minute, this thing just goes absolutely nuts. So it goes into circuit breaker halt, goes straight up, you know, just an insane move today, like I said, all the way to $8 before it finally came all the way back down. I mean, insane move that would retrace 100% of the move today. Like, this is an ugly, ugly chart now. Yeah, so anyway, it didn't work out for me. And, you know, when a stock doesn't do what you thought it was going to do, you've got to respect that and cut it loose and move on, because you never know, especially with these low floaters. If I would have held this, I took 2,000 shares. If I would have held this, I would have been down $7, what is this, $3 to $5? It's 10 grand. I'd much rather be down and lose $200, which I ended up losing, than 10 grand if I had to cover up here. Like, I couldn't hold that. There's just no way. So don't let them get away from you.
301.
bigger win on it. Didn't take it. Take it this morning now.
Back in 587 IBC.
All right, so this next trade was on CGC again. I was 2 for 2 on it, and this one makes it 3 for 3. So this time, you know, we had the pop, pullback, candle over candle that we played earlier. It's pop, 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 pullback, 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 pullback. So there's a pullback continuing on here without another candle over candle. In fact, it pulled back 100% of the previous pop. All right, so here's the last pop, pulled back all the way. So that's kind of ugly. The only thing that I liked about it is it was our second attempt. This is our first attempt at the VWAP. This teal line here is the VWAP. It was our second attempt at the VWAP, and last time it bounced off it nicely. So let's try it again. I'll occasionally buy the VWAP on, especially these mid to large cap companies. So I was thinking that 49.50 would probably break, flush out a little bit, and that would be my buying opportunity as getting just under 50 cents for a hold. And when I got in, I told myself, okay, my stop loss will be the low of that current candle that broke that VWAP. So it would be basically 49.40 would be my stop loss. Under that, I just cut it loose. So I get in, 49, let's see, CGC, yep, okay, so this is the candle I got in. It broke it, I get in at 49.47, that was my fill. So right at the VWAP basically. And next candle opens up, it's green, and you'll see it kind of bob around here, and I'm looking for it. The first time it goes candle over candle. So two things going for me. I'm buying at the VWAP, but the second thing is it's the first candle over candle in a while. So we get candle over candle right here. It breaks that, pops up. This candle opens up. It crushes through into the 90s real quick, but then it comes right back down. And I see a lot of bidders in the 80s. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, this might crack 50 again. And I was hoping to sell there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of selling started to come in. And what I did not like about this move up here, it was on extremely light volume. This was only 36,000. As you can see, the bigger moves that I had earlier, like this one is 140,000 shares. This is 100,000 shares, another 114,000 shares. So this move up was on very light volume, and I did not like that. So as it was coming back down, I sold just to lock in my profit. I sold at 49.74. And as you can see, it was the right decision. It did sell off. It did go back up today, but for the time being, it did sell off, break the VWAP, and you'd have to wait for a different entry to get back in. All right, buying the VWAP on CGC. Stop losses below that candle, below this candle. I'm long 49.48.
Got a 49.80 BT on.
I need to see buying right now. There's your 80.
I'm a 49.81.
Yeah, I usually buy going right into the halt.
I'm out 74.
I couldn't tell if this was going to get halted or not, so I didn't.
I don't like how
jump in where normally I
the
would,
up volume
but
there is really
yeah,
light.
the high is.
So the next entry I have here is on AYTU. This one, it doesn't hit my scanner, but it hits the chat room that I subscribe to, Warrior Trading, which I highly recommend. It hits that scanner, and I don't know why it didn't hit mine, because I think my settings are pretty similar. But anyway, it didn't hit my scanner right away, and it actually might have not hit a scanner. It might have been someone calling out in the room. I don't know. Regardless, actually, it might have been someone calling out in the room. And when Ross said it, I was like, oh, AYTU's moving? And this is a stock that I'm very familiar with. I've traded it in the past. As you can kind of see, it loves doing these pops, right? Look at the daily chart. It loves making these pops. You know, 560 to 760, $2 move, $4 to $7, $3 move. What is this? 288, 465, almost a $2 move there. So it can make moves, and it's done it for years. All right. It's done it for, well, not years, I guess, but 2 years. Anyway, it's a stock I've traded before. So whenever I hear AYTU or it comes up on my scanners, I immediately am flipping to it. And if there's some sort of entry point, I'm getting in, especially on days where stocks are running. And today, SYN was running. The thing was going nuts at this time. So anything that hits the scanners next, people are going to jump into. And AYTU was the next one. So why did I get in? So it already had moved quite a bit. So where's the, come on. There we go. All right. So it's already moved quite a bit, right? Started out in the 240s. I think the low day was 240. Comes up, comes up, comes up. Big pop here. It hits my radar as far as, you know, me seeing it when it was in this candle here. So it starts to get into this range, and I'm like, okay, there's some bids in the 280s. I'll get in, thinking that, you know, volume come into it if it breaks $3. It looks like it's going to break $3. So I get in at 292, right inside. Actually, it was the candle that took off. So I got in right here, right before the massive move it made. It breaks 3, and sure enough, that's when volume comes in. You'll hear other people start jumping into the stock, hit the scanners, whatever. And that's the buy. I think I've got other trades in between while I was waiting for that, so we'll get into those next. But I'll just go ahead and roll the buy right now. We'll get into the sell in just a little bit.
TU on the scanners. Okay, I see that. 295 on the ask.
Damn,
Later
that scalp
volume.
on CGC though.
Keep an eye on that.
AYTU on watch. I'm going to go long 293 as it approaches 3.
Consolidation is 415.
Back at it under 12, didn't take it.
Holy hell.
AYTU, I jumped in. I'm long AYTU here. Long AYTU for a scalp going into a halt.
On what stock?
AYTU. Looks like a circuit breaker.
So in AYTU, just added going into this halt.
So while I'm waiting for AYTU to open back up, the next stock that hits my scanner, usually after a circuit breaker of a different stock, I'm going to jump in. And in this case, it was BIOC, a stock I'm very familiar with. I've traded before. I made lots of money on, especially when it did its reverse split. I think it was this day, whatever. It just went nutso. So it hits the scanners this morning, and it's what I look for first off. I usually look at the daily chart, but since it's BIOC, it's a stock that it seems like once a week I look at it. I'm familiar with the daily chart. I did not look at the daily chart. So what I'm looking for at that point is how much is it already moved, or where's the floor of this thing. So when I flip to it, I see that 275 is the low, and I have a potential to get in at 280, I think is when it was. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to get in now, because if this thing's starting to hit the scanners and people are going to jump on it, break a 3, I'm getting in now because I'm only risking 5 cents at that point. So I jump in, I get a good fill, 279 basically, right in here, and immediately pops up. I'm thinking, oh, if $3 breaks, this thing is golden, especially on a day like this where we've had 2 stocks hit circuit breakers, SYN and AYTU. So pops up, comes right back down, and I don't like that usually with these low floats. I mean, it came the next minute as well, popped up, came right back down, and I'm telling myself, all right, if it looks like 280 is going to break, I'm going to bail, because this thing could just as much flush out. And it just didn't have the momentum. SYN was the one that was really moving at this time, so I think all the eyeballs were there. Any other day this would have been it. So sure enough, 280 breaks, I sell, I break even on the trade, and it does flush out a little bit. CCXI, nice little break there. BioC going, former reverse split. I'm in 280.
IOC, let me take a look. IOC, popped up to 3, keep an eye on it. SYN, watch over 405.
Stop loss would be 280 or below on BioC.
But SYN, definitely keep an eye on. My order's at 410. Watching SYN. The longer it consolidates here, the better it looks for a move up.
I think I just lost my mic.
Hey, check out CGC for reclaim over VWAP.
So this next play, shout out to Jonesy in my chat room. He's a shot caller, one of the guys that calls out plays out in our chat room. He found this one, and that's why it's so important to trade in any kind of chat room, whether it's free or paid for. There's just so much going on in the market. There's no way you can keep track of all of it. So if you have other people calling out good trade ideas that will work, why not take a look at them? If they look good to you, take them and make money. I would have never seen this had he not called this out. So anyway, CGC, 3 for 3 on the day, and this makes it 4 for 4 on this trade. So ends up popping up over VWAP. Got a pullback candle, candle over candle for another pop. All right, so I wasn't in this one, so I missed it. So I'm waiting for the next pullback. Here's the pullback here. These 2 candles, they don't make highs. All right, this candle does not break the high of this candle. This candle does break the high of this candle. So pop, pullback, candle over candle. This candle is the first one I'll play, right? We break that high right here. I go long, 49.83. I get a good fill. It pops up, but slowly, and I was kind of hesitant to hold this because I don't want a false break, and the volume wasn't just pouring into this thing for the break of 50. So I just cut it loose. I thought it was going to be break even. I got a good fill for a 4-cent win.
Yeah, they did. I know that.
Because when it pulls back after the move. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mine went live right away when I took my order.
Just went 1 minute candle under candle and only dropped 2 cents. That's a pretty bullish for the next candle over candle on the 1 minute.
Keep SYN on watch.
long at 84. Out 87. So here's where AYTU comes out of its circuit breaker. It was a 10-minute circuit breaker. So out of the circuit breaker, it does gap up. All right, so it does open at 360. So there's a lot that goes on these circuit breakers, and when they open up, they're very volatile, as a lot of people have a lot of orders are going to go through immediately. So what's funny is you had 28,000 shares of volume, 27,000, 20,000, 16,000, 10,000, 3,000. All this together might be 70,000 shares of volume. Quick math, maybe. I don't know, whatever, 60, 70,000 shares of volume. When this thing opens up, it gets 160,000 shares of volume. So, kind of crazy. So anyway, it opens up, it breaks down low, and I'm watching the L2, and I'm seeing some decent bids at 350, and I'm telling myself, worst case scenario, if 350 breaks, I'll sell, because I was really hoping this, because you got to remember, at this time, SYN is going nutso. It went from $2.50 to $8 today, and it was still going crazy up. So I had that in my mind, but I also had, yesterday we had a circuit breaker halt on a stock, and the stock opened up and it sold, like, say this stock opened up. When it opened up yesterday, it went all the way down here and sold below where it started. It was stupid. So I was kind of scared, to be honest. Luckily, it panned out. It opened up high, and watching the L2, I saw some bids at 350. And I was telling myself, worst case scenario, I'll get out at 350, and that's what happened. I sold at 350. Did end up testing the highs a day again for flushing out, and then it tested high a day again before finally selling off 100%. So the reason why I was willing to give AYTU a shot, though, to do a secondary move is recently, as you can see here, as it broke the 20-day moving average, the next stop was the 50-day moving average. So I'm telling myself, okay, well, we've broken the 20-day moving average. It should go to break $4 inside. And I thought I was going to do it in this move. It did it later on. Well, it actually tapped 4. I didn't break it. So it got close to it. But yeah, it just didn't rip out of the second circuit breaker halt. We hadn't had stocks run hard out of a first circuit breaker in a long time. The market's really hot. Out of the halt here, it'll go over 4 if we can go $4.50, $5. But we're not in that kind of market. So take the profit and move on.
There's 350. I want to try to ride this momentum up.
I'm out 350 AYTU.
314 is my average.
So this next trade, I honestly was kind of hoping it would have worked out and broken $4 here, broken 380 and ripped, but it just didn't work out. So this is what I was looking at. This candle opens up next, a screen one here. But I was looking at this, I'm thinking, well, normally I would say, hey, we just had a pop, a pullback, and a candle over candle, and it didn't work. It didn't do anything, so I shouldn't be looking at this anymore to the long side. But silly me, with lots of money to burn, I tried it anyway. This candle opens up. I'm thinking, hey, if we go candle over candle here, break the 373, we might go and break high day, which was sitting at 378. It was really close to it. And the fact that it was holding up this level so well also was kind of played it in the fact. Normally these things, if they don't break to the upside quickly, they're immediately going to, fall in their face. And you got to remember, this thing started at 250. So, I don't want to be stuck in this thing on a flush either. So that's why I was really quick to exit. So it pops up, kind of double tops here. And as it's coming back down, I'm selling immediately for a 9-cent loss, which is I'm perfectly fine with, because I do not want to break this level and then potentially just flush all the way back. As eventually it did. You can kind of see this on the daily chart. It popped up to $4 and then came all the way back down to 250. So it's got some shorts.
BDR, you know, a little bit of a cheaper stock, getting a little bit of action, but I'm not sure about it yet.
Looks like E-Trade's out of AICU now. That's another one of the real quotes on AICU.
I'm out. So this next trade was a short on CGC as it started to move in a downtrend here. So you kind of see the overall movement here is down. And I was kind of playing the 5-minute candle under candle. And this is the 5-minute area that we're looking at right here. We're inside. I can't scroll over this way anymore, so sorry. But this is the candle that we're inside of right now as we're looking at the chart here. And let me get to the right time frame for you. Okay, 17 we need. Let's get us right there. All right, so this is the time frame right here, the 5-minute chart. We had a pop, pullback, 5-minute candle over candle, pop, and now we're getting the pullback for a candle under candle. And I was thinking to myself, okay, looking at the 1-minute chart, we just recently had a drop and then a pop with a candle over candle, and it really hadn't moved much. It broke 50, came right back down. I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's weak. The next 1-minute candle under candle is going to flush out just like the rest of them have. All right, so drop, relief bounce, candle under candle for a drop, release bounce, candle under candle with this, 49.90 as an entry. I missed this entry, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to domino and trigger the 5-minute candle under candle. So I go short at basically 83, which is not quite where I needed. Where am I at? I'm showing you the wrong. It's over here. Sorry, it's right here. This candle. Sorry. These candles are looking weak, right? They're red. They're very spiky. I'm thinking to myself, the first 5-minute candle under candle is going to flush this out. And I was going to use this 1-minute trigger, which would lead to the 5-minute trigger. And it just didn't work out. So when I see that, we get that flush, right? It goes to 82. It doesn't really work out. Then finally, in this next 1-minute candle, we do get that break of the 83 level. The low of this candle is 84. We get the break at 83. It flushes down below 80. And then what you'll see on the L2 is a ton of buying comes in, and it gets bought up real quick and shoots right back up. And I'm like, whoa, that's not the move I want to see. It should have flushed out, especially on this 5-minute play here. And when a stock does not do what you thought it was going to do, you need to cut it loose and move on, because what you'll see next, and I'll just run the clip right afterwards, is the buying opportunity that happened here. So I covered for a 1-cent loss, but you'll see that the next move was a very big move to the upside, and I actually went long on that. So in this scenario, the 5-minute play didn't work out. The 1-minute play leading to the 5-minute play did not work out, right? It got a 5-cent drop here, and it had two things going for it. It had the 1-minute candle under candle and the 5-minute candle under candle, and it only got 5 cents. That's a very bullish sign, not a bearish sign. That's a bullish sign. So this candle closed, and you can kind of see what happened next. So at that point, I'm looking to play the 5-minute candle over candle, which would be basically the break of 50.04. And let's see, the 20-minute candle. So this one. So now I'm kind of just looking right here at this 50 level. I'm going to buy as soon as it breaks that level, because now I have a trigger to the upside. I have the 5-minute candle over candle, so you had the pop, pullback, candle over candle, and this would be the break of this one right here. So the $50 level, you can kind of see it on the 1 minute too. Just nice resistance there. And if it broke that, it could just go explosive. So I get in, I get a really nice fill at $49.90 on a market order. I was expecting to get $50. And you kind of see what happened next. Explosive move up, and when it hits 50.50, I'm thinking to myself, time to ring the register. So I sell at 50.49 on a market order. Great trade, and it wouldn't have happened had I not, some people would be stubborn and be like, oh, I'm going short. Oh, well, it's not working for me. I'm just going to hold. Now, look at if it doesn't do what you thought it was going to do, cut it loose and then reevaluate the situation. And I did, and it paid off big time. So I lost, I lost 1 penny on the short, but I gained 50 cents, 60 cents on the long. Not what I want to see. At all. So watching 5 minute on CGC.
That was 6:05.
Minute 90. 49.90. Stop loss break even right now.
You long CGC?
Yeah, 49.90.
50.11 PT on it.
There's the 5 minute. All right, stop loss is 50 now.
Nice trade, stock jack. Here comes that high day, man. got some more buying volume coming in, I would take half off and let the rest ride on break even.
All out 50.49. And that's how I ended the first hour of trading, up $3,439.99. So if you're interested at all in any of the trading rooms that I personally subscribed to, link for those in the description down below. I highly recommend all of them. I make money off of all of them. They help me make money. I help them make money. It's just a win-win. There's no losers in that, unless you just don't take the time to learn how to trade first. But anyway, if you have any questions on that, link for those are in the description down below. You can also come into my free Discord chat room that I started because when I was a beginning trader, there was no Discord out there. There was nothing like that. So you're basically learning to trade from the chat rooms that you had to pay for. And I didn't have a lot of money. So that was a lot of money back then to pay for a subscription and learn how to trade. And most of the time you're going to lose money when you're learning. So anyway, I started this free chat room, and we've got a lot of people in here that love to help. It is 100% free. We don't charge for anything. So if you're a new trader, come on in, ask questions. Again, it's free. Link for that is in the description down below. It's the Discord link. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.